Welcome to the No Name Brand Podcast. My name is Sashka Hanarapal, actress, singer, dancer, turned brand marketing, sales, and advertising strategist who brands your soul. And each week I bring you an inspiring person or message to help you discover your undergod, turn up your leadership notches, challenge the status quo, because you're fast and furious with a powerful message to share with the world. Thank you for taking time out with me today, and without further ado, let's get our creative and wisdom juices flowing. She's a believer in diversity and individuality, and in the importance of giving a voice to those who are not heard or seen enough in our society. She believes that by loving ourselves more, we have so much more love to give to other people and ultimately all beings in this world. This is the space and opportunity that our next guest wants to create. A beautiful, creative, inspiring soul. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen, PETRA BOIJE. Hello, Petra.
Hello, Shaska. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And yourself? Where are you in the world today?
I'm here in South Florida and sitting here inside in my office, which has air conditioning. So everything is cool and nice outside. It's so hot and humid.
Really? And where are you originally from?
I'm from Finland, actually. So that's where I grew up, and I went to school and started my career and all that. But then a couple years ago, I started backpacking a lot. I started traveling on the American continent in Central America and Mexico. And one trip led to South Florida, and it was just supposed to be a short stay, a short holiday, but like the story usually goes, then I happened to meet someone and I ended up marrying my husband, and now I've been living here for a couple years, for 2 years.
Oh, wow. Yes, I know that story. I was living in London, moved from South Africa to London, and came on holiday here to Austria with my boyfriend at the time, and then met my husband and I stayed.
Yeah.
As the story goes. Now, when I introduced you, what I said sounds like something that would come from an activist or a life coach. But you're not that now, are you? You are a jewelry designer. Now, how did you come to decide on this profession for your life? And share with us where your decisive pathway happened to start making jewelry.
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting story, actually.
We like interesting.
Yeah, of course. So I've always been like artistically inclined and been drawing since I was a child, and animals have always been really important to me as well. But my career, I actually studied to become a graphic designer, and I worked with big media houses and newspapers and also smaller clients, but mostly doing graphic design and websites, web design, logos and branding. But then I happened to be shopping on Etsy. You can sell your handmade creations, and I stumbled upon this type of jewelry that I guess it's best described as illustration jewelry, because it was like earrings that had this picture of a bird, and I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I bought a couple of those designs, and then I was wondering, like, I make illustrations too, and I was started to experiment, like, what is this material? Could I start making jewelry out of my own designs? And after some research, I found out that the jewelry is called shrink plastic. Usually kids like to play with this because it's a really cool material. You can draw on these sheets of plastic. It looks like a paper sheet, just thicker. Then you can put it in the oven and it actually shrinks and gets thicker, and your image also shrinks with it. So you can get some really cool results with that. So I was really excited and I started developing my own designs. I also started selling them because people were really into the style. But this material was never really, I was struggling with it a little bit. It was too unpredictable, and many pieces were ruined because it's hard to predict, like the material can stick to itself when it shrinks. And it was also really a lot of work to make them, very time consuming. So I was just doing it like on the side as a hobby. Then happened this move to United States, and suddenly I had like all these materials available to me in a very different way than I would have in Finland. And I did a lot of research, and finally I came across this small company in Austin, Texas, and they specialize in printing on acrylic and wood. I realized right away that this is the look I'm going for. This is how I want my jewelry to be made. The quality is vastly superior to the shrink plastic, which is a fun material, and it was satisfactory maybe to most, but not to me. I mean, I wanted superior quality. And so I started sending my designs to them and started the production in March, April of this year.
Wow.
And that's how I created my product. And then I built my website around it, and this brand slowly started coming together. I've been running this business since March, and I launched just 10 days ago.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's brilliant. I was on the website and I was like, oh, these are really funky designs. Like I wouldn't even think, I'm not really a jewelry person, probably because I get infections. Not infection, what's it called?
Allergies.
Allergic reactions. That's it. When I put,
Yeah.
and someone gave me the tip to put clear nail varnish on the earpiece. So when you put it in your ear, and that works for a while. And then I get this reaction again. I'm like, bleep.
Oh, yeah, that's a really common problem. And I also suffer from this allergy. So that's why I only use sterling silver for my earrings and for all the metal parts.
Yeah, I did both, gold and silver. I was just like, it's not happening.
Still didn't work for you. Yeah.
My ears were just rejecting. It's like, but take this up. But do you just do earrings or do you do other jewelry pieces?
At the moment, I make earrings, necklaces, and pins. Pins or brooches.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And also I sell tote bags and t-shirts, but that's kind of like a bonus, just to add some variety, because not everybody is into jewelry, but you can buy my designs also as posters and t-shirts and tote bags.
That's
maybe
so
other
cool.
products in the future, but it's quite a lot already for this moment.
And how much research were you doing from the time that you had the idea to launching now? And with all the designs, like practicing and finding materials, and how frustrated were you? What kept you going?
Well, so the whole process from the moment I had the idea, that was 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah. So working on it always like on the side until I moved here to America, and I didn't have a day job. And I started thinking, okay, so what is it I really want to do? I want to make jewelry and inspire people. So I started to focus on that. And yeah, I did a lot of research, and it took me probably full time. It took me a year to hone in on my message, my brand, and to draw the pictures and prepare them for print and getting everything together. And then building the website took like 3 months, also full-time work. But now I wish I had the tools I have now to build websites, and I could have done it much faster. But hey, we keep learning every day.
Always. We're always learning. You said that most of your designs or illustrations are with animals. Do you get downloads like from the animals? Do they give you messages whilst you're creating, like the energy that you're putting into the designs?
Yeah, so this is interesting because they have to come from somewhere, right? These ideas. So these last 2 years in my life have been really, I've changed my lifestyle a lot, and I started going to yoga and doing meditation. So it's been like kind of spiritual journey, you could say. And these animals, they came to me. I watch a lot of BBC documentaries too, and when I see a funny animal or inspiring animal, I think like, I gotta draw this animal and make a design. But with this particular first collection, is called the Rare Collection, and it's 8 different animals which are like quirky and unique. So for instance, I have a manatee, I have an alpaca, and I have the blue-footed booby bird. So they're all really unique looking animals, and they all kind of develop their own personalities along the way. So the booby bird, he likes to dance, and he's kind of the spirit animal of movement and connecting with your body. And the manatee likes to drink tea and read philosophical books. So he's the spirit animal for when you want to contemplate on life and cultivate your thinking. So yeah, they all develop their distinct personalities somehow. I guess I have a pretty wild imagination too. So
well, that's important, especially when you get your downloads and your inspiration from animals, because they do communicate with us. And even just we human beings, we lack, or we've toned down our imagination over the years. The older that we get, the imagination just kind of like gets replaced with a lot of reality. And sometimes when we're watching things like The Jungle Book or some characters where the animals are talking, we find a connection to them again. And without it being too, in inverted commas, childish, wearing the jewelry to have that connection to them as well without it being animated is still a connection to them, because often we don't have enough connection to nature. I don't know what it's like in Florida. I mean, I've never been there, so I don't know what the connection is like there. But just the stories behind the creations and the illustrations that you have, it's pretty cool. It's a cool invention.
Thank you. And yes, I think these spirit animals, they definitely help you create and motivate how you want your day to go by and create that connection with your inner child, which is what I've been looking for the past 2 years when I got on this yoga journey. And I realized that, oh my God, these jobs I've had, they've been like so soul crushing and not really what I want to do or what I'm even good at, but just I kind of ended up in those jobs and I kept doing it and not really fulfilling my true dreams. But then moving here gave me the opportunity to finally pursue this dream. And I realized that I've really been an entrepreneur at heart since I was a little kid. I was drawing these signs back in elementary schools by hand and distributing them to my friends and to neighbors. And I started writing my own novel when I was 12, and I started illustrating this dog breed catalog.
Cool.
They were never finished, but it was just, my mind was going in all kind of directions.
Yeah,
And
you're
I
getting
just,
downloads.
yeah, definitely.
Eunice
And
is,
just these animals, I draw people too. It's not that, but I think it's somehow more natural for me to draw animals. And I have 2 cats that are really important to me. It's just they're so uncomplex in a way and so direct, and they live in the moment, and they're like being super mindful of what we people are trying to achieve through meditation. They really live that every moment, and they don't worry about the past or the future. So that's what I find really inspiring.
How do you see, from your point of view, jewelry, how it was the development of jewelry? Personally, I work for an international company with lots of bling, lots of jewelry, lots of fashion, and there's the high-end jewelry, and then there's superior, and then there's lower end, just the cheap stuff that's then made. That's just basically trendy. Where do you see your jewelry? More trendy, or because that's quite exciting, creating your own collection? And you're not even going according to, in inverted commas, to what the trends for spring, summer 2018-19 are going to be. You're getting a download and creating your creations. Where do you see Wild Outline in the jewelry market? How do you classify it?
Well, I think it would definitely be in the handmade artisan group of jewelry, not the high end or the fashion, because I strive to use materials that are really good. And I also strive to have a customer experience that is impeccable. So that means I have returns and I offer 6 months guarantee. So if your pieces break, I will take them back and I will fix them or replace them. And I don't see a lot of this in the handmade jewelry industry. And not so much, I think maybe handmade jewelry creators, they think too much about what's their own vision and not so much as how will this help or inspire other people. And I'm trying to bridge that gap.
Do you feel the need or the vision to collaborate with funky designers in textile market or shoes or whatever, or even hairdressers where they use your jewelry as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would definitely be up for that. And even in my own field, there's other people who do what I do, but I would rather collaborate with them, community over competition kind of thing. That's my mindset. And I would always love to have other creative people give me input and give me inspiration and new directions where I could take my products and my ideas.
What is it that you love most about what you do?
Well, so I love the whole process, and I have a need to get these designs out there. And what I love, it gives me an opportunity to encourage people to embrace who they are and connect with nature and animals and find these maybe unexpected connections. And also, if I have a chance to inspire them to let them go of the fear of being judged by other people, and just to find optimism and joy instead of being stuck in toxic thought patterns. That's what drives me with this. And I mean, I chose to do jewelry and illustrations because, well, frankly, that's all I can do. I'm not a coach or a mentor or a yoga teacher or anything like that. So I had to take what I do best and work with that.
And craft it. Yeah. What does your process look like? Like when you're creating a collection, what does your day look like, or your weeks or your months or years? What does it look like creating that collection?
Well, yeah, it's the easiest part is to come up with the ideas, and my mind is literally overflowing with ideas in all directions all the time. So that's the easiest part. And then I start by deciding, okay, I want to make a collection with these unusual animals. And I think 8 is a good round number. So I'll try to finish 8 designs. The hard part is not starting, the hard part is finishing.
Aha! Why does this sound familiar for everything in life?
Yes. So I start by sketching up using a pencil, sketching up the rough outline of the animal. And then I take an ink brush and draw it out by hand. Then I scan the picture, I color it in Photoshop on my computer and clean up any mess that I might have made. And after that, it's time to prepare it for the printer, which takes also, it can take anything between an hour and 3 hours, because I might notice, oh, this shape doesn't actually work with a pair of earrings. It doesn't look nice. Then I have to go back and change it. And so then I send it out to the printer. And when I get them back, I assemble them. And that's not really my favorite part, the assembling part, but luckily it's also pretty fast to do it with the right tools and the right materials. And I never really, being a jewelry designer was not something I wanted to be ever. And this is like all the jewelry I know how to do. So if somebody would ask me to make a beaded bracelet, I would not know how to do that. And I don't create jewelry out of expensive metals like gold or silver. I have no idea how to do that. So this is literally the only thing I know how to do and what I want to do, this type of illustration jewelry. And after the actual product is finished, then I have to take the photos, which I take myself, and some lifestyle shots with the product in use. Then I have to, of course, add the products to my store and spread the word in social media. So it's a big, long process.
Takes a long time. If someone else, our listeners, are also thinking, oh, you know what, I love jewelry, or I really like to get into that field as well, even a designer of some sort, what advice would you give to them? Like, where would you start? What, in your opinion, where should you start? Think about, don't go there.
Well, I guess first you should think about what kind of jewelry do you like yourself, and what do you like to wear, and what's your experience with jewelry? What are some of the pain points that you want to fix? Like, one of my pain points was that I buy this handmade jewelry and they break really easily, and then I have no idea how to contact the seller. So I definitely wanted to fix that. And just try to figure out which type of jewelry you like the best. And then after that, you can head on to YouTube and watch a bunch of tutorials, or you can go to your local craft shop. They usually have courses in jewelry making, or you can buy an online course at craftsy.com. There's a lot of ways how you can teach yourself the technique. So I say that would be a good place to start. And I can't really give more precise advice because there's so many different kinds of jewelry that people can make. But definitely stay true to your own vision and try to make that vision become a reality in a way that you find is fun to make jewelry.
And not to take it too seriously, because it takes a while. You got to get your name out there. You've been doing it for over 6 years. So it's like, hello, doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the same time, it's really important to develop your brand and your voice. And that's something that I've been doing for 6 years, trying to find my own voice with this thing and my direction. And now that I finally found it, I feel that now I'm ready to launch this for real. I mean, it was just a hobby before, but not everybody is like me. I mean, I feel I have to make it perfect before I can launch anything. And that's quite a limiting mindset that I've been trying to get rid of. But definitely put it out there and see what the response is. And then continue if people like it and you see that you can actually sell the stuff. That's an important part, is you don't want to make jewelry just for yourself. You also want to sell it, right?
Yeah. What gives you your confidence to sell? Like, to put wild outline out there, not to go, I've made this, but I'm not going to sell it. I'm just going to keep it just for me. What gives you your confidence?
Well, my confidence comes from the fact that I really believe in my product, and I know that I made it as perfect and as good as I can, as I possibly can. And basically that's it. I feel so confident about it because I know it's great. And also I know it's unique and it's not really something you see every day. And it definitely speaks to a certain type of people, not everybody. Yeah, that's it. You have to believe in your own product. And if you see that it's still flawed, that you could improve it, you have to improve it.
And what is your dream? What's that pinnacle that you're aiming for?
Well, with this wild outline business, my ultimate dream would be that I have a community of people who, be it that it could be on social media, just creating this community, a positive community with inspiring people, and just spread this positivity and joy, empower everyone to just look inside of them and feel their own inner strength, and then be brave enough to bring that strength out into the world and basically just love themselves more and give out that love to people around them. So my way to create change in the world, it really starts with each and every one of us on a small scale, and starting from inwards and then spreading out. So that would be my dream, to be in a place where I could inspire groups of people and communities to be confident who they are and share their love with everybody.
I love that. We're coming near the end, and near the end, I usually ask all my guests 2 questions. And you touched on the one question already, and maybe I'll ask it to you again if you want to elaborate on it, or otherwise it's like, oh, I've done it already. But how do you want to change the world or challenge the world doing what you do?
Yeah, I guess I basically already answered that, but just creating awareness and creating this space to cultivate kindness and love inside of yourself by creating these animal themed designs. I also want to spread awareness about all the challenges that face planet Earth and encourage people to live ecological lifestyle and be aware of all the different creatures in the world, and that we are all connected and we share this planet. So that's one way to change it. And when I moved here, it was very turbulent times with the elections and everything going on, and lots of negative energy. And really I was, where have I moved? Why have I moved to this country where it's just people are spreading hate all the time and creating war? So that was one thing that spurred me, that I have to push my creations out into the world, because they're the exact opposite of what this current president is trying to stir up. So that was also a big motivator. And I think you have to start by accepting who you are, and then start to accept others and not be afraid of people who are different. I think it starts there, the way we can change the world, really.
I love that. I'd like you to fill in the blanks on 3 of my core values. Wisdom for you is?
Wisdom for me is, I guess, to learn from your own mistakes and to never stop looking for new information and new angles, how to deal with your life situations, and also to stay curious and be mindful and balance all your options and not just rush into things without thinking. Yeah, I guess that would be wisdom.
Cool. Creativity for you is?
Creativity for me is the ability to take your own experiences and your thoughts and your feelings and like creating a new approach to a problem, an approach that tackles the problem with this fresh energy and kind of like an open-mindedness, like without looking at what other people have done in the past and without imitating others, kind of like out of the box thinking. And yeah, so just taking what you have yourself inside of you and your experiences, and then using that to create solutions to problems.
Love that. Passion for you is?
Passion is a force that comes from within you that can't be stopped no matter what.
Hallelujah. So you can find out more about Petra on wildoutline.com and find her jewelry there as well. It's a really cool website. It's inviting and a lot of inspiration and very creative. You can also find out more information or find more about her and the company on her social media handles, and hook up with her. Find out, connect with her, find out more information about her, and just delve into a little bit in that imagination and creativity, because we tend to suppress it a little too much in this world today. And Petra definitely arouses it within you. Thank you so much, Petra, for being with us here on the show today.
Thank you so much, Sashka.
Awesome. And we wish you 100% success. And we know it's going to be awesome, and keep shining and believing in your idea.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Dang, that was just supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I enjoyed having you on board, and please do me and you a favor. Head on over to iTunes, SoundCloud, or Stitcher. Click subscribe, and a super bonus, leave your review and you stand a chance of being announced and advertised on the show. I'm always striving to ensure that your brand is uplifted and empowered. Remember, done is better than perfect. So be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and send in your feedback too. You're the absolute best. Keep rocking.